We'll go further into GSVs in this episode by accessing them in an expression. In this example, we will set the render path dynamically to place the renders in their respective shot folders. Go in DL Settings, Image Layers, set the image file name path, and point it to the RND folder directory for each shot. Let's begin with this expression, which will place the rendered image in the correct relative folder for one shot. We've covered setting relative paths in the first episode of this series. With 3D Light, AOV is used to name the file according to the AOV, and the hash will write out the frame value. EXT is calling the image format specified below. This can differ from one renderer to another, so it's worth looking at their documentation for further guidance. So far, this path is pointing to the first shot directory. We want to change this to directly call our shot variable, so the output path updates as we toggle across the shots. So how do we figure this out? The Python tab can be useful for finding parameters too. A little trick is to middle mouse button drag a parameter on this tab to use as a guide. So we can see that the variables parameters exist within the root node, so the expression will become getParam rootnode.variables.shot.value. You can also refer to the developer's guide for more specific information. However, a more robust way of doing this is using the project keyword. This becomes project.variables.shot.value. Hit spacebar to expand this tab. Now replace the shot-specific part with this expression. The value is now adapting according to the GraphState variable, so let's do the same to specify the path name. You can now see when you toggle across different GSVs, the values will adapt accordingly, along with the folder the image will render to. So if you send a disk render, the image will go in the shot folder you're currently viewing. It is also possible to use GraphState variables and expressions when bringing assets in through the file system or an asset management system. Here's a version of the per shots import group we've made over the first 2 episodes. Instead of specifying the shot within the ABC asset parameter, you can access the GSV directly. Now, this is not necessarily recommended because you might not always want to have the same assets in all the shots, but it can help simplify the process if you do have a lot of shots with the same assets present. As you progress, you'll find more and more uses for this powerful tool. Next, we will access GSVs using the variable switch and variable enabled group nodes to make per shot overrides.